We've got such an awesome slate of NBA games on Christmas Day that I figured we had to do a betting preview, talk a little bit about each game, and give my prediction at the very end as well. So if you want to ride with me, I'll be providing my official prediction for every single game on the betting slate for NBA Christmas Day. We have 5 games on tap for Christmas. Bucks versus Knicks is game 1. Then we have Warriors versus Nuggets. Then we have Celtics versus Lakers, Sixers versus Heat, Mavericks versus Suns. An awesome, awesome slate of games ahead of us. One thing that I do want to keep in mind is that I'm recording this on Wednesday. So if any serious injuries happen between now and then, unfortunately, I will have missed it. But aside from that, I am going to assume relative health to where the teams are currently and that no loads are going to be managed. It's Christmas Day. If teams manage loads, they're going to get fined a lot. So there will be no loads managed. And let's chat about Christmas basketball. First up, the first game we have on tap here is the Knicks versus the Bucks. So the Bucks, as of right now, sitting at 20-7, the second seed in the East. Meanwhile, the Knicks are 15-11. They're currently the fifth seed in the East. For this one, I actually like the Bucks here, despite the fact that this is being played at Madison Square Garden. I like the Bucks to win and cover in this one, cover the spread. There was some weird, awkward clunkiness with the Bucks offense to begin the year. Even despite that and the fact that their defense struggled as well, all they've done is they've kept on winning the entire year, and now things are starting to look better for the Bucks. As of right now, again, I'm recording this on Wednesday, the Bucks have won 5 straight games. In the offensive two-man game between Dame and Giannis, things are looking like they're starting to click between the two of them. It was a weird start for whatever reason. They just refused to run pick and roll with Dame and Giannis. Dame's been on fire the past couple of games. They've moved up. The Bucks have to 7th in terms of net rating, and for most of the year, they were in the middle of the pack, if not actually closer to below average. So them moving up to 7th is a pretty big deal. And then on the Knicks side, they're going to be missing 2 big men in Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims. That's brutal in a matchup against Giannis, who's just going to terrorize you in the paint if you're not able to stop him. So I like the Bucks here to win and cover. Next up, the second game, Warriors versus Nuggets. So the Nuggets have actually been slumping a little bit as the season has gone on. They looked amazing to start the year, like they were just going to waltz to the 1 seed once again in the West and at least go back to the finals. They haven't been as good over the past couple months, 6 weeks or so. Not that they're bad. They're still 18-10. They're still the second seed in the West, but they're 6th in net rating, and they're actually behind the Clippers, who are in the middle of a hot streak. The Nuggets are 7th on offense, which is concerning. Granted, they've dealt with some health issues with Jamal Murray, but still having Jokic and only being 7th in offense is a little bit concerning, and then 10th on defense. But for this matchup against the Warriors, I still think that the Nuggets at home win and cover. I do think being at home does help the Nuggets a lot. They get that home court advantage playing in Denver. And I'm really just not a believer in this Warriors team at all. Despite the fact that they had a relatively impressive victory against the Celtics and that Clay is coming out of his shell a little bit, I'm not a believer in this Warriors team. I think Andrew Wiggins is playing horribly, and I think having no Draymond really is going to hurt them, especially defensively. On the year, the Warriors are 13-14. They're 18th in that rating. They're also currently out of the playoffs and out of the play-in entirely as well. It's just not been good for the Warriors. I don't think it's going to get that much better. For Christmas Day, I like the Nuggets to win and cover. Next up, our third game, Celtics versus Lakers. It's our only game that's not between 2 players in this, or 2 teams in the same conference, but it's Celtics Lakers. It's one of the most iconic rivalries in sports. This game's going to be awesome. The Celtics are obviously incredible. I think, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, that this is the best iteration of a Celtics team with Tatum and Brown since they've been on the Celtics. Adding Kristaps Porzingis, who's been great for them. Drew Holiday's been great for them as well, along with having Derek White, who sometimes plays like he's the best player on the team. With that said, despite all that love for the Celtics, I actually like the Lakers to win this one. They're a little bit of underdogs, so we are getting a little bit of value here. You can also just take them on the spread if you want to be a little bit safer. It's my first underdog of the slate so far. That feels good. The Celtics, as good as they are, they're not nearly as good away from home. On the road, they're only 6-6, and they have a basically neutral net rating, basically 0, close to 0 in terms of net rating. At home, they're 14-0 with the best net rating in the NBA by a mile. The Lakers have a little bit of clunkiness on offense as well. They lack some elite shooting, but they are similar to the Celtics in which they are significantly better at home than they are away. This game being in LA, I think does help the Lakers a lot. On the road, they're 5-9 with the 25th ranked net rating in the NBA at a minus 7.6. Keep in mind, teams that are below the Lakers, the Blazers, the Bulls, are all above the Lakers on the road. That's not great. At home, the Lakers have a net rating of plus 8.6. It's a massive, massive gap between both of these teams, home and away. So I'll ride with the home team, who's also the underdog. Give me the Lakers to win and to cover the spread as well. Next up, in the 76ers versus Heat game, another situation where I'm riding with the underdog. This time I'm taking the 76ers. Now, the Sixers have had a pretty pancake schedule recently, past 10, 14 days or so, but they beat the living crap out of every team in their path. And because of that, they now have the best net rating in the NBA. They actually set a record for the best point differential over a 5-game stretch. Granted, yes, the Pistons twice, the Wizards twice, the Hornets once in that stretch. They're still annihilating teams. They also have the best net rating on the road as well. So this is not like previous years, which you're used to seeing with the Sixers, where they could get it up at home and they were terrible on the road. Now the Heat, to talk about them for a little bit, they are finally healthy, getting Bam and Hero back, returning from injuries. And I will admit, it's always risky counting out the Heat. Even if they're less talented, they still just find ways to win. But that doesn't happen until the playoffs. The Sixers don't start choking until the playoffs. So for a regular season victory, congratulations. I think they get it done against the Heat. And now we have our last game of the slate, Mavericks versus Suns. This is a battle of two teams that I really don't believe in, despite the fact that there's a lot of star talent between the two rosters. Now, it would be a lot more fun if both Kyrie Irving and Bradley Beal were playing in this game. Beal's out with an ankle injury. Kyrie's out with a heel contusion. Now, Beal's pretty much confirmed to miss. He got ruled out for the next couple weeks. Kyrie, the Mavs haven't given any sort of update with. He did get the boot removed a couple days ago. Again, this is as of Wednesday. So maybe things will change between Wednesday and this game on Christmas Day. I'm still expecting Kyrie to miss, but we'll have to see if that changes. We'll have to see. The Mavs, to talk about them, currently the 5 seed with a 16-10 record, and the Suns, they're barely even in the play-in. They have a 14-13 record, currently the 10 seed. They're only one game up on the 11 seed. Now, the Suns had a stretch earlier in the year where they looked pretty good. Now they're 3-7 in their last 10 games, and they're literally just never healthy. They refuse to have a healthy roster. And like I said, I'm not a believer in the Mavericks, but I do like them to cover the spread in this game. If Kyrie Irving does play, doesn't change my mind. If he doesn't play, doesn't change my mind. I'm going to be on the Mavericks regardless. It's tough for the Suns to get any momentum going, and at least with the Mavericks, you can ride Luka Doncic to a lot of victories. They're 6-3 in games that Kyrie misses. They're 10-6 in games that both Kyrie and Luka play. So it's not like they're dramatically different with Kyrie. I think that they're at least going to be able to keep it close in this one as our 5th and final prediction for the slate. And that's all we got. 5 NBA games on Christmas Day, 5 predictions for you guys to ride with me. Let's see how these end up going. If you are riding with me, make sure to comment. All that stuff helps me a ton. Like the video, subscribe. Appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.